The story begins in the year 2000, when a scientist working as an American nuclear engineer asks his Korean assistant to put about 200 bottles of toxic chemicals in the Soja drain. As a result, he has no idea whether the river water will be affected or not. Then a few years pass, and people start hiding all kinds of strange things in the river water. One day, two people take a fish out of a cup and see that the fish is not normal at all. Looking at this, it seems like a very different kind of tongue. When one of them tries to touch the fish, the tongue shakes him, and he throws the cup from his hand and goes back to the fast water. Now the scene goes back to 2006. A businessman standing on a bridge is thinking about the future. And just before giving love, he sees a huge thing under the water. In the afternoon, Ganglu is roaming around his father's snack stall by the river. A homeless boy named Sija tried to steal some food from there, but his brother Sejin took him away from there. Monik Bong, the stall owner, wakes up his son and tells him that he has to go to work. At the same time, Gangda sees his daughter Hyun-seo returning from school. Hyun-seo is very angry because Gangda did not go to the parents' meeting himself and sent his maternal uncle. He has an old phone that does not have a proper network, and he is very ashamed to show it in front of the public, so his father's hands were shaking. Then Gangda and Hyun-seo run inside the stall, where Gangda wears a low-cut coat. He had saved money there so that he could buy a new phone for his daughter. Then he turns on the TV and sees that a half-eaten corpse has been found from the Han River. But instead of that channel, Gangda's sister Namju starts participating in the archery tournament. At the same time, Bong comes and sends some free snacks to the customers. Gangda goes there and sees that they are all under the bridge, leaning towards something strange. The thing suddenly gets up and a huge beast comes out of there and jumps into the water. Some time later, Gangda picks up a beer can, which the beast throws at him with its horn and swallows it. Seeing this strange thing, the crowd is excited and starts eating different kinds of food in the river. But the jeep suddenly disappears. Everyone thinks that they will leave from there, just when the beast gets up on the water and starts chasing the man. He takes the man and starts shooting, and they keep killing him with his terrible body. The man keeps running around to save his life, but the beast starts killing them all. Some people hide inside a container, and the beast also gets stuck behind them. Tourist Donald and Gangda run to the other side of the container and open the door, so that the people who were selling can come out. The beast also comes out and their murder goes on. Donald touches a floor tile, but it doesn't work. Then Donald and Gangda together touch a heavy signpost towards the beast, but he doesn't get hurt after that. The beast, who was holding a man in his mouth, attacks him with a leaf on Donald. Gangda runs and takes the signpost, and this time he stabs the beast with his weak leg, so that the beast gets hurt till the end. Some of the beast's blood also splashes on Gangda's face. When Hyun-seo gets out of the stall, Gangda starts running with the crowd holding his hand. But Gangda falls in the middle of the steep slope, and his mother's hands get dry. He gets scared and starts running with another woman's hand, but he turns around and sees that the wrong woman is holding his hand. When he turns around again, he sees that the beast is taking Hyun-seo towards the river. Gangda also falls into the water, and sees on the other side that the beast throws a man into the water, and Hyun-seo disappears under the water. After a while, the police and military surround the area. Gangda and Bong have to leave the stall, and Gangda takes the box filled with coins with him. The river area is closed, and the final act is arranged for all the victims. Namju comes with his bronze medal, and breaks his ear for the dead elephant. The third brother, Nam, also arrives there, who is the only college student in the family, but it's useless at this time, because there was an activist before him. The whole family starts fighting after being robbed, so the journalists come to them and start taking pictures and videos. Nam knows that he heard that Gangda was holding the wrong hand, and for the next mistake, he keeps beating his brother. In this, there is a fight between the two of them, and the workers have to come and stop them. At the same time, some people in hazmat suits enter the room, and start making a strange noise. An agent wants to know if anyone has touched this jeep. Gangda knows that the blood of the beast had fallen on his face. Hearing this, the team carries him in a special bag and takes him to the train. Then the news channels start covering this incident thoroughly. Donald was a sergeant of the American military, and he had a cut on his hand, so he is sent to the American military hospital. Military doctors can know that the part of their body has come into contact with this jeep. They are showing a strange reaction, and they declare it as the result of an unknown virus. The American military sends a sample to the CDC, and they make sure that the jeep of the river is the owner of this virus. Now only the special forces of the biological warfare train are allowed to go to the river. Fumigation units have started cleaning the river area with smoke. At the scene, it is known that whoever it was, they are all being sent to the hospital for quarantine and testing. In the evening, Gangdu is hanging on his bag, and right then Gangdu's phone rings. Hearing this, he becomes very anxious, because the call was made by the agency. He wants help and knows that he is stuck in a sewer, but the call is cut off before he can say anything else. Two fumigation agents stop their truck near the river, because they can see something. Suddenly, a dino comes out, throws an agent and gets on the truck. A few minutes later, the jeep throws an agent in a sewer, where it had a lot of dead bodies to eat later. After the dino left, the agency also came out of a cave where it was hiding. He tried to wake up the agent, but he died earlier. He looks for the phone in the agent's pocket, but it doesn't work either. In the hospital, Gangdu's family tries to convince a police officer that the agent is still alive. But the police doesn't believe them, and says that Gangdu might have had a dream. To prove himself, Gangdu shows the same moment on the phone where he saw the dino throwing a dead body, which could mean that the agent is still alive. But the police insist that Gangdu is just delusional, and leaves from there. Bong tries to let him in, but he doesn't agree. A few minutes later, the family leaves the hospital quietly, and mixes with other patients in the corridor. A nurse recognizes Gangdu, and tells him that the whole family starts running, and runs away to push everyone on the way. As soon as they reach the lift, they put on their real clothes, and Bong confirms on the phone that their car has arrived. In the parking lot, they take out a driver's van. Namjo falls behind, and thinks he has to be thrown away, but the driver throws the cars behind him, turns around and picks him up. A policeman tries to get in the van, but Gangdu pushes him away. A few minutes later, they reach a warehouse outside the city. It is known that Bong had hired some criminals so that they could get the family out of the hospital, and arranges all the documents required to search for the unco. The last bill is coming in a lot, and the criminals refuse to take their jewelry. Instead, they take their credit card. Three brothers see the news inside the van, and understand that their wanted Ferrari has been declared. The family stays in a fumigation truck, which the criminals had arranged for them. The truck had 2 hazmat suits, some weapons, and a map of the sewerage. Gangdu's brother Bong doesn't wear a suit, and Nam and Namjo hide under the blanket. The security check suspects the manager, because the company's name was added at the last minute. Bong throws a bag at him, and when he opens the manager's bag, he sees the box filled with coins. Then, according to the family's map, he goes towards the sewerage. Sometimes, Gangdu runs behind the truck, so that the fumigation smoke falls on him, because he wants to keep himself clean for his daughter. After a few hours of searching, they see something moving in the dark. Namjo starts firing when he sees something on his shoulder. But when he looked up, it was just water dripping. The stream that was falling was actually Seju's drink, which his brother was hiding with Sejin. The 2 brothers slowly reach the snack stall, and get a lot of food from there. Seju starts taking money, but Sejin stops him and says, taking money is a real theft. When the 2 brothers get out of the bag, Danabti sees them right then. They run, but the jeep is very fast, and blocks their way. After a while, the family reaches the snack stall, and shares the dinner in such a way that Hyun-seo is sitting with them, just to keep their minds strong. Actually, Hyun-seo is trying to collect water from a leakage, but when he hears Danab's voice, he is afraid of being unaware, and sees Danab throwing the 2 brothers down. Hyun-seo checks them, and realizes that Sejin is dead, but Seju is still alive. So he saves him from the jeep's eyes. Namju and Nam gang up on the family, because he's lost again. He doesn't like this story at all, and he finds out what happened to Gangdu when he was young. Gangdu was very smart when he was young, but Bong hardly stayed at home, and stayed out all night. Gangdu goes to get food from the nearby field, but he was not fit for his studies. That's why his mind goes slow, and his body goes around in the middle. Just at this time, Gangdu wakes up and sees Danab standing outside. Bong starts shooting, and Danab rushes to the stall, pushing it so hard that it flips over. When Danab comes close, Bong shoots again and the jeep falls. The family comes out and sees that he is still alive, so Nam also shoots at him. Danab quickly escapes and gets on the bridge, and gets hit by quite a few cars there. Then Danab jumps under the bridge and keeps running around, until they run out of bullets. Danab jumps into the water, and sees the soldiers coming, so they start running away. Gangdu knows that he has one more bullet. So Bong tells his friend to run away in the children's truck, until he stops Danab. Joon-ho comes out. Bong tries to shoot, but he realizes that Gangdo was mistaken, and there was no bullet. Joon-ho throws him off the bridge, and Bong gets hit by his gun, and Bong dies with him. The brothers cry for their father, but their mourning breaks in front of the workers. Nam and Namjo are taken to the tent. On the other side, Gangdo commits a crime and does not want to give himself up to the workers. A few moments later, it is reported that Donald died of the virus. CDC does not say that they will use Agent Hill. It is such a chemical system that America has developed to fight against the virus and biological terrorism. Many people think that the spread of this chemical is inevitable, so people are ready to protest against it. It is also reported that the symptoms of this virus are like a common cold, so if someone sneezes or coughs, people go far away. In this regard, the name of the manager meets his old co-worker Guevara. Guevara hides his name after the office is closed because he works in a telephone company and can trace Hyun-seo's call. You can easily get the call on the computer, but you need a password to access the GPS. Guevara repeatedly suspiciously searches for Namjo. Knowing the name, they are separated in the sewerage and he does not know where Namjo is. The password written on the desk does not work. Then Guevara says that he is looking for the password in the manager's office. Actually, he was just pretending. All his friends were hiding there so that he could get a reward for catching the name. In this, Nam gets another password note and now the system is unlocked. He definitely finds Hyun-seo's location. When he marks the location on the map, he can understand that everyone is coming out of the office to catch him. Nam puts a clip plug and plugs it into the socket. The short circuit happens and the whole house drowns in the darkness. The team gets scared and keeps looking for him in the dark. But when he comes back, the name has already escaped. Hearing the police outside, he is forced to get out of the bridge. His whole body is filled with pain to fall down. And below the bridge, after texting the location of Hyun-seo to Namjo, he becomes unconscious. On the other side, Namjo is still looking for Hyun-seo. He roams in the beam of the bridge, hiding in the water so that no one can see him, and has stolen food from the family store. He charges his phone and sees his brother's message. Namjo runs towards the bridge with him and calls Gangda to find out everything. Unfortunately, the demon finds him and before he shoots the arrow, he strangles him so much that he falls into a very deep sewage. Namjo becomes unconscious and the jeep can't reach there, he leaves. Gangda's hope in the lab rises again and he tries to escape. But the medical team catches him and gives him a sedative injection. An hour later, he is still unconscious. As soon as he enters the sewer, Gangda shrieks in pain, seeing which an American doctor orders the procedure to stop. With the help of a deaf medic, Gangda understands his mother's whole story and knows how no one believes him. The American doctor refuses to show interest, but in fact, he was checking Gangda's mental state. It is believed that the virus is creating a state of dementia in him, so he has to take a sample from his head. If the Korean doctor thinks it too much, the American doctor takes him away and finds out the truth. During the Donald operation, everyone was killed and no virus can be found in the brain. The test of the people in quarantine is also negative, so it is very likely that there is no virus. Even if Gangda's English is not very good, he can understand the word no virus at all and answers. The doctors take him to the operation room where the sample is collected from his head. Inside the sewage, Hyun-seo opens the clothes of two dead people and makes a rope with them and ties a police stick to the end of the head. With the help of Seo, he leaves the rope on top and ties it to the sewerage grill, but the rope goes out of his neck. At this time, Dan-op-ti returns, so the two children hide in a cave. They see that Dan-op-ti throws a big stick from a person's neck upside down, which contains a beer can. Then he comes down to eat another person, but he hears the children's soft voice. He tries to cover his mouth inside the cave and the children slowly hide. As long as he goes out of their neck. After the operation, Gangda shows himself helpless when a doctor comes to take a sample of his blood. Gangda understands the situation and catches him and uses the stick as a weapon. He whispers that the virus containing blood will be sprayed on their veins. Hearing this, the doctors get scared and retreat and let him out. Outside the city of Lab Ti, Gangda was in a container and the soldiers were having lunch. Using the doctor as a shield, Gangda throws the tables with a stick and runs away with an ambulance. Under the bridge, he hears the song of the name and finds out that a ghost has saved his life. He asks the ghost for the way to the bridge and buys his empty beer bottles at the price of money. The ghost breaks a bottle on the head of the name and says, "You can't buy everything with money," but he agrees to be a guide. The two of them take a cab and make a Molotov cocktail with the empty bottles on the way, people are gathered to protest against Agent Yellow, which will also be released at the bridge. Hyun-seo also comes out of the container and sees that the ghost is spinning. He checks with the kin to see if the ghost is showing any reaction. Then he runs and covers the ghost's body so that it can reach the rope. He pulls the rope, but his peace does not last long because the ghost pulls him down again. Jibda still feels dizzy. Maybe he's doing all this in a daze. Hyun-seo also gives him a light shake so that the ghost wakes up. The ghost falls on two children at the same time. A few minutes later, Gang-do finds the right place and breaks his ear to see the dead body. Thinking of the worst, Hyun-seo also pulls the rope down. At the same time, the ghost comes there. But unfortunately, he can't see Gang-do and goes forward. On this side, Namju turns around and gets up from the sewerage and sees that Jibdi is coming towards him. He makes a noise but his heart breaks. A large crowd on the river is protesting against Agent Yellow, whose son-in-law is accused of Gang-do's freedom. The protesters surround him with the police and they are not willing to leave. But when they see the ghost, everyone becomes terrified. The police starts shooting and Gang-do asks everyone to stop from the top of the bridge because his daughter is there. He jumps into the water and at the same time, drone Agent Yellow starts to leave. The whole area is covered in smoke. The situation of the protesters is getting worse. Jibdi also starts to get sick and a policeman starts to kill him. But Gang-do stops him. The ghost starts to jump on the ground. Sujog understands that Gang-do puts his hand inside the ghost's mouth and throws a man's hand. He pulls out the two children but unfortunately, both of them died. Drone Agent Yellow stays on the ground and the masked agents record everything. On all four sides, the man is getting sick. Three siblings fight with the police and break their ears. Gang-do breaks the bridge and he breaks a signboard and attacks the ghost, who starts to bleed. Jibdi throws him away. Then Nam starts to touch his Molotov cocktails and Jibdi runs away from the fire. Finally, he gets stuck under the bridge and the ghost pours petrol on him. Nam wants to touch his last cocktail but it breaks near him. Then Namju comes in front of him. He lights a fire and stabs the ghost's eye and the whole Jibdi burns. Before running towards the water, Gang-do puts his hand inside the ghost's mouth and stabs him. Then Gang-do checks on Sejah. To find out if he was a friend of the ghost, Gang-do takes him away from the haunted area. A few weeks later, Gang-do has taken some of his life. Now he runs a snack stall and listens to Sejah. One night, during dinner, the American reporter on TV admits that there was no virus. But Gang-do and Sejah turn off the TV so that they can eat in peace. And the movie ends here. So friends, what do you think? Is the real villain a human or a demon? Do let us know in the comments. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.